So a new Emerson College poll shows a tight race, but with Trump slightly ahead of Harris in North Carolina, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. But what do we need to know? Are you seeing momentum shifting in Trump's favor?
Yeah, I don't know that I'd say it's shifting in his favor. What I would say is that we've seen some consistent trends here, and we do see that Trump is ahead by one in Pennsylvania and in Wisconsin, and then ahead by two in North Carolina. Um, I don't think that these are positive trends for Harris. These are certainly competitive states. It's not over yet by any means, but Trump seems to have an upper hand here. Um, she is really going to have to pull it out first in early voting and then hope that the election day turnout is in her favor.
Yeah, let's talk about early voting for a second here. Did your polling tell you anything in terms of voters' intent to vote early versus on election day?
Yes. And so we've got a little bit more data here than we did previously. So in Pennsylvania, for instance, we see very little change at the top of the ticket in the top lines. However, when we look at that early vote, and we've got, I think, around 100 or so folks who say that they voted early out of the full sample. So there's a larger margin of error here, but we see that Harris is ahead by about 68%. Now that's a significant lead, obviously. However, it's a little bit lower than what we think Biden had in 2020 heading out of early voting. That would have been around the 75% mark. So there's some ground there that she's missing. Now, again, there is a larger margin of error than there is for the poll as a whole. So she is within that margin of error of Biden's vote share. But I wouldn't say that that's a great showing. We're going to need to see that early vote tick up and Democrats turn out more for that early vote if Harris is going to be competitive on election day, because we're likely to see more Republicans vote then. So, looking at North Carolina and Wisconsin, those early voters, North Carolina is split 51-49 among early voters, 51 for Harris, 49 for Trump. That is also not a great showing for Harris there. We can see that a little bit just in the state data where we see the party registration and how that's breaking out. Again, not the best signs for Harris. She wants to run up the score in that early vote, and that doesn't seem to be happening just yet, at least in these three states. Wisconsin, it's a little bit murkier of a picture there. We see that Harris is up in that early vote 60-40, but it's a little bit too early to tell. We have a lower sample size there. Again, these are still warning signs for Harris. The top line numbers aren't good, but when we dive a little bit deeper into that early vote, that's where there's some real red flags.